All right, so welcome everyone. Today we have another fabulous success story from Caroline Caffrey. Caroline, thank you so much for taking the time out of your diary, your busy schedule to be here with us and sharing your success story. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Brilliant. So Caroline, a lot of the audience may not even know you or where you came from. You certainly look different to the person I knew about a year ago. And tell us a little bit about what your results were before the mentorship process and where were you at?
Okay, so I was running my holistic business and it was literally all over the place. There was no consistency in it, and it was actually, I was exhausted from it because I was going around in circles and I couldn't get things to work. You know, you have a great month and this is great, and then you'd lose the momentum. And of course, I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. And I remember you had put up a live on, you were doing a live stream, and I remember watching it, and it was just something about what you were saying that resonated with me. And we had that call and we had the chat, and everything about the program sounded absolutely wonderful.
Brilliant.
The price at the time.
Yeah, we'll talk about the price, because if you look back, it's probably not too much to compare with where you're at right now, but at that time it was, right?
It was, absolutely. It wasn't that I didn't think that it was overpriced. I just felt I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And, you know, and for me to find that kind of money, like, was almost impossible.
Yes. And you did it.
We did, but it was a little bit of a process. It was your support, and I remember that you sent me the decision, the piece from Bob on decision. Read that every day and make the decision that you're going to do the program. And I started doing that, and then just before the Christmas, you sent me the link for the paradigm shift, which that year was called the Art of Goal Creation, and that just opened my mind up completely. And it was from that point I wrote down, I'm happy and grateful now that I'm thinking into results with Eva, and this is going to change my life. And within 3 weeks,
everything happened.
Everything happened. And it's the biggest lesson was to let go of the how, to let go of trying to control it and trying to figure it all out. Put it out there, and the money came to me.
Everything comes to you. We're going to talk a little bit about your story later on, because I know there's lots of people who don't even get on the call with me because they're like, I don't have the money. But in my personal opinion, if you have that kind of belief, then you will never have the money, because that kind of belief is stopping you from earning it in the first place.
Yes.
But let's just talk first about what are your biggest results? What are your biggest breakthroughs out of doing the mentorship process?
Well, financially, I am way better off than I was this time last year. I'm earning in a week what I used to earn in a month. I'm only working half a month. I only work 2 weeks every month now, earning twice as much as I used to earn. So like it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I absolutely love. I've closed down one business. I've opened up a new business. Just that's taking off the ground. That's really starting to take off for me. Doing what I love, spending more time with my son. I'm a single mom, and that was a big thing for me, that I didn't want to be stuck at the computer all the time, slogging away, trying to get things done. Or as it was when I was speaking to you, people coming into our home for treatments every night of the week, and it was just taking over our life. The work-life balance wasn't there. Because, you know, for someone who is struggling, you tend to compromise your values to bring in a client, or I just have to say yes, yes, yes. And when you change that thinking process and change how you feel, you suddenly realize I don't have to do that anymore. And that was just huge for me. That understanding that I can create the outcome that I want. I can create the result that I want if I get clear on what I want. And that was a big, big thing, because I realized before I started working with you and before I started thinking the results, I was inconsistent with the goals. 1 week it was this, and the next week it was that, and 1 month it was the other, and there was no consistency. And it's the whole process that I've learned of how to get focused on a goal, how to figure out what's stopping me from achieving that goal, how to fix that, your paradigm, and how to go through the process. When you reach that Terra Barrier, my favorite. But do you know what? I've actually learned to love the Terra Barrier, because it tells me I'm on the cusp I'm on the cusp of getting to where I want to go,
Yeah.
because if I wasn't at the Terra Barrier, then I wasn't doing the work I needed to do. So I didn't like it in the beginning, but now I see it from a different perspective. And I now know, oh gosh, I'm really close now. Just keep going, keep going. So yeah, and then, you know, the whole process of the program, as I said to you before, it was like, you know, I had all the pieces of the puzzle for years. I didn't know how to put that puzzle together. And this program took all the pieces of the puzzle and put them in order. It gave it numbers. You know that painting by numbers, and when you have the numbers, you know where to put everything. It literally did all that, put everything in the right place. And now I have a clear picture of how to manifest, how to get what I want, how to work toward the goal, what to do when it's not working, where to look for the problem, where to recognize it, and how to fix it. You know, and how to grow from that. And the goals have gotten bigger and bigger.
I love it.
When you start out, you're kind of going, if I just could make 3,000, I could just make 3,000. And now it's like, oh, 30,000.
No problem. I love it.
You know, so yeah.
There was one thing that you mentioned that I think is very important for the audience. A lot of my clients talk about Terra Barrier, but a lot of our audience don't really know what Terra Barrier is. So just everybody, every time you're moving to another level of earning or another level of income, you're changing how you operate. You're changing your behaviors, you're changing your thinking, and there's a lot of fear in that. And majority of people are actually eaten up before they actually take actions. So even when someone contemplates opening the business and not doing it, that's because the fear eats them up. And that's what we call Terra Barrier. But actually what we do here in the Thinking into Results, we make friends with fear, because we understand that this is indication we're going in the right direction, and we just have simplistic tools to reduce it so that it never controls you or stops you emotionally. So from your internal point of view, Caroline, as I said earlier, you're a different person.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what would you say, even your looks, everything changed about you. So what would you say were the biggest transformations or changes for you as a person?
Right. Well, I'll just go back to our very first conversation where you said, look, these are the places I think you need help in. And one of the places was self-image, because my self-image was on the ground pretty much. It's not that I didn't know, it's just I didn't believe in myself. And that was the very first thing that we did together, we worked on, was my self-image. And I've reworked on the self-image again and again as the year went on, because as I grew, I had to grow my self-image to meet the new version of me and to create the newer version of me. And like that, when I look back on videos that I did before, no makeup on, half thrown together, didn't care. And now it's like, and it's not even that the look that I was very confident that I looked fine, but it was just, I wanted to look professional. I am professional now. I'm a professional mentor. This is what I do. I feel really good in my own skin. One of the biggest things with the self-image was that learning to love myself. And you know, as Bob says, mwah, 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 mwah. I love myself so much now.
Tell us about the mirror, Caroline.
Right, yes. Before I started doing Thinking to Results, I did not own a full-length mirror. I had not owned a full-length mirror since I left home, which was my mum's one. I was 31 years with no full-length mirror. And about 4 weeks into the program, we had been doing the self-image. I went off out and I got myself the biggest full-length mirror I could fit into my room. And every single day I stand and I look at that woman and go, I love you. And I love everything we're doing, and we have got so much more to do together. And I do all my affirmations, I do all my self-talk. I know if anyone looked in the window and saw me, they probably would lock me up, but it works and I don't care. But I do my paradigms, I do my paradigm shift, I do my self-image script, I do all my motivational stuff in front of that mirror, because that woman is so different to what she was this time last year before I started working with you.
Brilliant. And tell us a little bit, you've mentioned, I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through either undercharging their services or working with any client just for the sake of having a client. Tell us a little bit about how this has changed for you and how the program actually helped you.
I'm very, number one, at the time I would have taken anyone, and I was undercharging. Now my programs have gone from €400 and €500 right up to €5,000, and that, you know, it's a complete. That's why I can go from working 4 weeks every hour God sends to working 2 weeks a month and really enjoying what I'm doing. There's something about people need to realize, when you undercharge and you have to have loads and loads and loads of clients to make money, you become really exhausted and really resentful. And resentful towards your dream business that you love, and resentful towards your clients, because you're putting every ounce of effort in there. But the moment you start to value yourself and value what you're doing, you suddenly look at them from a different perspective. You only work with clients who you really want to work with. I always remember the first time I heard that phrase, people freedom. I'd always heard of, you know, time freedom and money freedom and all that, but I hadn't heard of people freedom. And this is where you get to choose the clients that you really want to work with and that you'll enjoy working with, and people who value what you do, and you then value them an awful lot more. So it makes work so much more fun, so much more enjoyable, and very much more rewarding.
I love it. So good. And so finally, I suppose that question about manifesting money, because, you know, the start is what stops so many people. Like, I know I can help everybody in the Six Figures community and everybody who watches this testimonial to multiply their income. But it's the start that stops them from actually even doing it. Absolutely. And unfortunately, if someone doesn't make that first decision, they always stay stuck financially. And first of all, I want you to to tell us honestly, do you think you would be where you are if you didn't get mentor?
Oh no, I wouldn't even be in business. I'd be back working behind a checkout somewhere in some shop or in some office part-time.
Yeah,
absolutely. I can hand on heart say that, because that's how close I was to just walking away from the whole thing. What was the point? I was exhausted from it.
Yeah,
you know, and it was the decision article and that whole thing of realizing that I never properly made a decision. I was making them flippantly and change them quickly. And what is the expression? Successful people make decisions instantly and very rarely change them. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them very quickly. Yeah. And that was where I was. So when I made that one decision, I said, I do not know how, but I know that I need to do this. And it felt right. And I made a clear decision and I didn't change my mind. And I kept on saying, it'll happen. I know it'll happen. And I kept that focus there. That is when everything started to roll, because I put my mind onto one thing that I really wanted and kept it there. So making the decision, regardless of money, take the money out of it for a moment, make the decision that you're going to do the program, because that is 95% of the whole process.
Totally.
And the belief then that it's going to come to you in one way or another, and it always does, and it always surprises you how it comes. Like, even I had a client who messaged me on Saturday and she said, I have to text you this. I'm sitting in my brand new car. I'd done this whole process message where you've got to believe. I said, see yourself. And she did. Yeah. She went on a test drive and then she came back and she did her visualization and she kept saying, I'm so happy I have my new car. I'm so happy I have my new car. And on Saturday, she went and collected her new car. So it works. It works with any decision. So it works with this. Yeah. Do not let the money be the reason you do not do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you haven't the money to do it, then you need this program more than ever.
To make money, exactly.
Yes, because it will teach you how to change your thinking so that you can make the money that you really want to make, so that you can have the career, the business, the family, the relationship that you want, and have the life that you want. You know, I always remember Bob said, you know, he said that on the paradigm shift and on several of the videos, most of us, everyone wants to be healthy, wealthy, and happy. That's it. Now, how that looks to each one of us is different.
Yeah.
But that is the core. And that starts with learning how to become healthy, wealthy, and happy.
Yeah.
Learning how to even define what that is for you. And that's what the self-image script helps you to do. It helps you to figure out, who do you want to be? What kind of a life do you want to have? How do you want to serve in the world? Because that's what we're all here. We're all here to serve in one way or the other.
Yeah.
And if you can define that and then start working towards it, your happiness, your health, and your wealth is there in front of you. for the taking.
Love it. So Caroline, so a lot of people are like, yeah, she says that, but how do you actually do this? So I want to just share maybe a little story of how we went about the manifestation, right? Because what I love about where you were at, you still deeply desired to change. So it didn't matter, you were exhausted with the way the business was, you were working hard, you were undercharging, you didn't have the right clients, but you still wanted to win. And I think that's the part of you that made a decision regardless. And one of our first, coaching sessions, or it was even the consultation when you decided to do the mentorship program with us, and you've made a decision, regardless where you were financially, you had no idea where the money is going to come from, and you manifested the money. So tell us a little bit about what actually happened that the money came to you, and how did you actually make it happen? Just a few words about that, maybe.
Okay, I made the decision that I was going to do the program. I didn't know how I was going to do the program, and I was prepared to do whatever it took to get the money. And that was a big thing for me, because before that I would never have done that. But I was actually I was so sure this was the right thing for me.
Yeah.
That I actually contacted a friend of mine who was in business. And this is how, it wasn't easy for me to do. I will say that it wasn't easy, but that's how, even in my discomfort, I still was prepared to be uncomfortable to get what I wanted. And I contacted him, and he said, leave it with me. And he came back and said, look, I'm sorry. I would love to help you, but I just can't at the moment. But even that alone, I think, showed me how determined I was. And it showed the universe, because within a week to 10 days of that conversation, I actually ended up inheriting the money.
Inheritance, look at that.
And the big thing for me was, I know that you sometimes offer a payment plan, but I didn't want to do a payment plan. I wanted to get it done. That was it. So I was prepared to get the money to do it. And I was going down through, who else could I ask? Where else could I go? Because at that time, I remember saying to you at that time, I can't go to a bank ever. There's no point saying go and get a loan. That's not going to happen. It's a bit of a way of paying back the loan. And so I had to look at different ways. And this is what I mean. It's about opening up your mind to different ways of bringing in the money or getting the money. And even if you don't end up going that way, what you're showing the universe is like you're opening up your mind to the possibility of where this money can come from. You're not limiting yourself going, oh, I can't get it because. You have to be open. You have to think a bit bigger for a change. You have to have belief in, do you know what? I'm meant to do this. I know I'm meant to do this. So the money will come to me, but I have to believe it'll come to me. And I knew that inside. Didn't know how, but I knew it would come. And so I was prepared to step out of my own comfort zone at the time to do it.
I love it, Caroline. And you've been so rewarded. I mean, now you earn 4 times more and you work 2 weeks a month. I mean, come on. Now, the thing that I wanted to point out, a lot of people that I speak to, like I was like you, I was also very determined to the point that I needed to shift my beliefs about borrowing money. And so many people think that, I mean, I definitely thought that 5 years ago, that I would never take out a loan because it's some sort of like a bad thing to have a loan. And then I learned that people who are wealthy never base their decisions on the basis of where they are financially and whether they need to get the money or not. They always look at what is that investment going to give them.
And return.
Feel like in the conversation, when you feel that the investment can get you towards your goal, you are willing to shift how you think about borrowing money. And you go, like I went to 3 different banks and I got a loan in the last one, and it just, turned my annual income into a monthly within the 3 years. You were willing to call your friend, and eventually you attracted it through your inheritance. A friend of mine from Northern Ireland sold her car to do the program so that she, and currently she's a millionaire. So I
know, I was going to say, look where she's living now. It was the best decision, and that's the thing. That's something you have to get across. You have to really understand that this might feel like a big thing right now to go and borrow that money. But to realize at the end of the 6 months, if you do the program and you do what, as Bob said, if you do what I tell you to do, you'll get the results. If you do the program and do the results, you will make that money back tenfold. And that's the thing. Where else would you get an investment where you invest and 6 months later, you've made it back tenfold?
Nowhere,
So
nowhere.
exactly. So if it's short term, with the expression, short term pain for a long term gain,
That's
that
right.
is what you're doing here.
That's right.
This is where you have to realize how much you're worth. You're worth the investment, because your future happiness, health, and well being is worth the investment as well. You know, people go out and they buy cars, and they go out and they spend 5,000 on a holiday, which absolutely fantastic. But holidays for 1 week or two, if you're lucky. This is for life.
Yeah.
This is what you have. This is not just a 6-month thing. You do the program with you for 6 months, but this is a life-changing investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what you have to understand. You know?
And I suppose I'm very big into helping people become aware of what it takes. And if they don't make that investment, I literally feel like I'm this, I can be a fortune teller with a crystal ball and tell them where they will be in next 5 years time. And they will be in a similar position financially, not because of their intentions or their education or skills, because of their habits. Like currently they have habits of behaving and thinking that keeps them stuck financially. And if they don't change by just making a decision, I'm doing it and I will get the money wherever I need to get it if I believe that it's going to help me. Otherwise, people stay in the same place. So Caroline, thank you so much for this. And I just wanted to say to everybody who is watching this and you're inspired by Caroline's story, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you are someone who is sitting in the corporate world and you're dreaming to have that business that makes a difference to people all over the world. You maybe want to have a location free, you want to have time for your family, you want to choose your clients, you want to multiply your income, live well. Or maybe you're someone who started, and Caroline is a coach just like myself. If you're someone who is a coach consultant, you started a business, but you feel you're like slaving away where Caroline was, and you're working hard, but you're not getting the rewards you would love to see your family more often, and you're serious, like you've got to be serious. So Caroline was, and as you can see, she was ready to follow instructions, and these instructions work 100% at a time. So if you're ready, we would love to help you. And if you would love to do this with us, just write "I'm in" under this testimonial and let's get on a quick call and help you. Because I tell you this, if you are getting similar results over and over again, financially or otherwise, if you're overworked and you're not getting the right clients, you're not getting the money you would love, you're going to be there in next 6 to 12 months unless you make a change. And it's very hard to do it yourself. It's much easier to do it with a mentor, accountability, and community. And we know how to multiply your income. This is basically what I help people do for breakfast. So if you're very serious and you're coachable and you're open to step outside of your comfort zone, let's get going. Just write "I'm in" and let me help you. So Caroline, do you have any final words for those that are watching us? Why would you recommend stepping up and investing in you?
Because your life will be completely different in 6 months' time. That is so true. I was listening to you, make the call. They're going, make the call.
Yeah.
Book yourself in, because once they have a conversation with you and they realize what this program is going to do for them, like this is a step-by-step program to success.
Yeah.
It is the only one out there that takes you through the whole process. And I said this to you before, you have, I love Tony Robbins, but this whole thing, go away, shouting around the place.
Yeah.
It's just, people kind of go, oh God, it's too much. Bob teaches this in such a clear, simple way, because it is clear and simple. And when you follow the instructions every week and you do the work and you turn up for the calls and you put yourself in the hot seat if you have to get questions answered and you do the work, you will get the results. This is it's all like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If you want your life to change, if you're sick and tired of being broke, if you're sick and tired of your business not changing or growing, if you're sick and tired of working for somebody else and you want to work for yourself, this is what you need to do. This will turn your life around. It is a small investment for a lifelong change in the quality of your life. You cannot go wrong. You absolutely cannot go wrong.
Thank you so much, Caroline. And thank you everybody for watching. If you would love quality help towards your results, just write I'm in or email me at ewa@abundantresults.com and let's get you going. And then within the next 6 months, you're going to be like Caroline on this call, sharing your successes. So Caroline, thank you so much once again.
You're very welcome.
And thank you everybody for watching.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.